everyone and their mom coming out. My wife, the Keto Lions, she shows her thick ass up, along with everyone, including even Ariana Grinch. Well, Grinch. She is the Grinch of Christmas. But Ariana Grace. Everyone comes out. But due to the fact, early in the night, when you had the first match, which was Tatum Paxley versus Izzy Dane, no culling, pretty much they're not there. You get Izzy jumping into the ring. Now, I will say this. If there's no Shawn Spears, there is no, why, here's the thing about this storyline, for when it comes to Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dane. When you see that the culling was eliminated completely, and it was only them wrestling, and Tatum won the match, which was fine. You now have the culling show up. You have Izzy showing up. And you get the rest of them showing up out of nowhere. Why were they there? Why was Shawn Spears? Why was I'm forgetting his name? Why am I blanking on why am I blanking on him? I don't know why I'm blanking on the other guy. For some reason, I'm blanking on his name. You guys are going to tell me I know who he is. For some reason, the name is eluding me. Maybe it's due to the fact that he shouldn't be there. Why did the culling show up at all? Functioning. When the open challenge happened, screaming at the ref to get into the ring. Why? But I don't understand. Nico. I'm forgetting his name. Forget it. She wins. Izzy Dane wins the match. And that's when you see they had no storyline for a Thea Hale. And I'm like, guys, I don't care if this was Shawn who signed off on this or it was Paul. My guess is it was Paul. Due to the fact this happened, Paul signed off on all the general storylines that Shawn has made. Let's be honest. Shawn can't go anywhere with his storylines unless Paul, Triple H, signs off on it. Because eventually these people will be shown on the main roster. It will happen. And now, because of this accident, they decided that they were not going to do anything with Thea at all. Even though she's been there nearly 5 years now. She was there at the age of 18. She is now 22, nearing 23 this year. She's been there for years. And no one's saying that Thea is perfect. She's not. But she's been developed enough that you can at least do something with her. Without Andre Chase, without anyone else, they could have built something around her. But they chose not to. They chose not to. What they did was extend the storyline between Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dane by letting Izzy have the North American Championship, which she should have had last year. I'm saying this honestly. As I said with the storyline last year with Tatum as well as Izzy, Izzy should have had a title run, or at least came very close to getting a title run, and either kept losing or won it, could not keep it, and then be driven insane that you could never get it back. We never got that. What we got was her trying to help Tatum, who did win, and then would eventually betray Tatum because she acted like a crazy nutty bitch. And now, the beginning of the year, because of this incident, they decided, okay, let's give it to Izzy, and then we'll promote the storyline between her and Tatum some more, before either Izzy's going to the main roster, or Tatum will go to the main roster. That's the way it went. So, as you see, and I believe I'm going to insert one image, and that will be a lovely Thea Hale. She loses. So they literally didn't do anything with her. They chose, even though this was a very rare situation, that they could at least see, yes, there are certain things that need to be done, but it doesn't mean you can't let Tatum, Izzy not get the North American title if it was supposed to come later, You could have waited. You could have waited a little bit and let Thea try this and see if there could be something good. And then, yes, you could have stripped it off her later. You could have made her lose later. But at least let her have a couple of weeks to a month to see how far she can go with the fans. And what story you give her if she can sell it. They chose not to. They chose not to. So the open challenge was needed because of the controversy. But instead of letting her win, and then letting her build at least a little bit before you take an offer, you don't even give it to her. I don't agree with it. I do believe Triple H is the one who made that final decision. If it was HBK, I don't agree with him either. This was a rare situation where you could have done more with both of them. More with Blake Monroe. More with a Thea Hale. A little bit more. And see what Izzy could get eventually with Tatum once they dealt with Blake and Thea, but they just went straight to it now. Now, next match. Well, you already know I thought about Izzy. Tatum, they had that match. But really, Niku, there you go. Niku, I'm sorry. Just seeing Shawn and Niku there, it angers me. It angers me that they showed up during that open challenge. It made no damn sense. Now, next match. JC James versus a Kendall Gray for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, this was number 3 in the story, in the lineup of the card, because we didn't get the first match. We got the second match as the first match, and this is the third match was the second match. I did not see Kendall Gray winning. If they actually did that, that means that JC James is going to the main roster. And I just don't see her going yet. We already know that Jordynne Grace has already moved to the main roster. We already know that Lash Legend has moved to the main roster. I just did not see JC James. I don't see her moving up. Not now. I just don't see it. If you already got 2 women, you're going to throw a third one up there. That would be wise, but I just don't see it at this moment. It's the beginning of the year with this recording. I just did not see it. It wasn't a bad match, but I'm going to say this when it comes to Kendall Gray. She is such a bite-off of Kurt Angle. It is obvious. Yes, she has her own style. But it is the Kurt Angle bite-off, which is a Chad Gable bite-off. And honestly, with already, you got Tyra Steele acting like Kurt Angle. You got Tavion Heights acting like Kurt Angle. Now you got her acting like Kurt Angle. You could say Miles Bourne is acting somewhat like Kurt Angle, but he's a little bit of a question if he is. He's more like a Randy Orton in a sense. Like a younger Randy Orton, not just by his build, because he physically is built very similar, having a shorter waist, thick legs like Randy Orton. But he's something like it, but then not. And that's how it feels, like he's about to transition to something like a Randy Orton. But the key here is this. Kendall just feels like a cookie, just like a cookie out of a mold. And she just doesn't have anything. She doesn't. Of course, she's still part of Evolve, so I don't expect her to get anywhere much. But the key here is this. They need to do something with her this year. They just do. I see Ren Sinclair more of a developed person than Kendall Gray ever will be, as it stands at this moment. Of course, she can grow in this year, and I hope she does. But they must move her away from the Kurt Angle bit. She needs to have her own persona. Because she can wrestle. No one's saying she can't. She's actually a very decently good wrestler. Not the greatest, but she is good. But at this point, I'm not seeing anything that's important from her. She just feels like an afterthought. They just need to throw someone in there who is could be a legitimate shooter. She lost, not surprised. Of course, if I got that shot, you see a little bit of Fallon Henley grabbing the trunks, which I could see a little bit of butt crack from a JC James, which everybody wants to see that butt crack, and a little bit more of being able to save her. There you go. Next, let's talk about what happened in the back and the segments. Let me give it to you like this. Filippo, I can't even pronounce this guy. He's French. He comes from AAA. and he is coming to NXT. Very thin-looking guy. Looks skinnier than, let me give it to you like this. Devon Evans, he's a skinny, tall guy. This is a French guy that might be just as skinny as him, maybe about as tall as him, and he's his replacement. That's what we got. We get the first true guy coming in from AAA who's coming in as a Devon Evans replacement. He's supposed to be traveling the entire world. He wears a mask. He's French. He goes from Paris to the United States, and he does exactly the same thing as Devon Evans has done. Your question is, can he be more interesting than Devon Evans when he came in? Because let's make it very clear, Devon Evans, who came in, had good ring ability, but no character and practically no charisma. And if anybody says, dude, he does have charisma, no. Just because you know how to talk like you're from the damn streets or from the Black Hood don't make a damn difference. It means fucking nothing. You got to be able to get over with everybody. He talks like someone who's from New York or North Carolina, who got this damn accent. Being bouncy means nothing. You got to have more. And he had to develop it. Now he's on the par with Leon Slater, who had character. And yes, he spoke almost no different than Devon Evans. But when you look at the character of a Leon Slater compared to a character of a Devon Evans, he was more flamboyant. He was more charismatic. We got a little kid in Devon Evans. We had a more mature kid who at least felt like he was a person in a Leon Slater. So this guy, who I cannot pronounce the name because I had forgotten it already, it's going to be a big question, not about his ring ability, because he's going to be a high flyer. It's going to be about everything else. Can he hold a character? Can he legitimately have charisma? Saying you're French and speaking French doesn't mean a damn thing. Ludwig Kaiser had to be given time to show what he can do because he can speak German, he can speak English, and he can speak Mexican, at least to a certain extent. And he earned his character as Americano Grande Americano. He earned it. He may not do great at it, but he's earned his character. So this guy is going to be interesting. Now, let me say this. What happened after Thea Hale got her ass handed to her? Did I like what happened when Ricky Saints came out? Well, let me give it to you like this. When he came out, when he started speaking and saying that essentially he is a gift to NXT, he's the greatest of NXT, he legitimately made it very clear. He made it incredibly clear that due to the fact that he was there, Tricky, as well as Mr. Bouncy, went to free agency. Of course, you know he's lying. But at least they filled in those gaps using Ricky Saints, because he's gone up against both. He's messed with both. He's beaten both. It made perfect sense for him to be the one, not Obafemi. It made sense. Made it very clear that he is going to be the one that is going to make NXT mean something. And after what happened at the end of the show, which I will talk about in a few minutes, it makes perfect sense to have him do it, because he did deal with Obafemi. He did deal with Devon Evans. It made sense. I did agree with this. I'm fine with it. Now, the North American champion comes, goes, gets into the ring. Yes, he was with Ava. Ava was busy. I gotta admit something. Ava looked cute. She was so annoyed and so pissed off with all the chaos, she began to look sexy and cute. Yes, I'm not gonna say that. I don't normally say it with Ava, because Ava is not always normally sexy and cute. But she just seemed like, I guess, the way it looked, it almost looked like she wanted to laugh at certain segments, and she wanted to just try and play off certain segments. A little bit. Not the entire segment of each one. Like she went with the men, she went with the women. When she was with Blake, she almost looked like she wanted to just laugh her head off, but didn't. She looked a little cute to me personally. I don't normally think of her as that. I mean, I want my Lakeith Alliance. That is my... I mean, who doesn't like Big? But I like Lakeith Alliance, and they're doing nothing with her, and that pisses me off. But Ava Lakeith. But you get the North American champion talking with Ava. He gets into the ring. He says that he's the greatest North American champion there ever was. Even though everyone else said there have been other people. He said, look, who else has gone to AAA? Who else has gone everywhere else? I've done that. No one else has done it. So technically, he is one of the greatest North American champions that the brand has had. He has. At least until we get Jasper Troy coming out saying, I had a great year last year, and I'm going to give myself some more gold. Then we started seeing a little bit more. We started seeing a little bit of Josh Briggs. We got Shiloh Hill. We got, who else came out? Tavion Heights. We didn't get everybody else and their mom coming out, but pretty much, yeah, it was all of them. And it was made very clear that somebody's getting their got. Like, Stax comes out with Ariana Grace, who was still dressed like she was going to get in the ring. He made it very clear, I'm the international champion. You say you're greatest North American champion there is? No, I'm the international champion. Ain't nobody better. And then we get Tavion Heights coming out saying it very clearly that I'm going to go and I'm going to win that title from you. And then a fight breaks out. Now, let's make it clear. Are they trying to hype up the North American Championship? Yeah. Are we going to get a match between somebody against somebody? Who else was there? Shiloh Hill is getting a shot against, I believe, Ethan Page's... Wait a minute. Shiloh Hill is supposed to be going up against Ethan Page, I believe. And Jasper Troy is going up against Tavion Heights, if I'm remembering correctly. If I'm right, I could be wrong. But at least they are giving us something for the content that they've just shown. We're going to get a match for the Speed Championship. We're going to get a match for the North American Championship. And we're going to get a match, I do believe, for the... Was it for the International Championship? Is there anything for International? No. I don't think so. Nothing for the... I'm forgetting now. Oh, no. I think... I'm not sure, but I think Shiloh Hill is going for the International Championship. My mistake. It's not for the North Americans, for the International Championship. I think that's what it is. If I'm wrong, sorry, guys. But it wasn't a bad segment. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Now, let's get to the final match. Ubafemi versus Leon Slater. It was a good match. Now, it looked like Ubafemi was supposedly trying to sell his left knee, getting tweaked, and started hurting him. And that was the premise for the entire match, that Ubafemi, defending his title again, was weakened during the match while just running at a Leon Slater. It was a good match, but in the end, he wins. He retains his title. Now, after the match was over, we see Ava talking to people who were LFG, and probably some of them were from the Performance Center. We saw a lot of people that was from LFG, more than a few. And I think some of them are from the Performance Center, or those who've already been there for a while. But the point here is this. They were all there, but then Mr. Stone comes out and says, Ava, did you see what happened in the ring? And she said, no. And it's in my face. The title has been vacated. And you can see a little bit of Tony D in the background. I thought I'd use that image instead of just a title in the middle. We now have 5 people that have now gone to the main roster. We got Jordan Grace, Last Legend, Devon Evans, and Trick Williams. I'm doing 4 when it means 5. We now have 5 people have now moved to the main roster, Raw and SmackDown. This is going to be a big hit to NXT. Let's make this very clear, guys. The last time this happened, the writing for NXT was a mess. Now, I'm not going to tell you that the writing is going to get better after this. It's not. But due to the fact they do at least have Tony D in the main card easily, and Ricky Saints is going to be there. at least you can say, got two people. My guess, what they're going to do about Obafemi's title, they're going to do a tournament. I think they will do a tournament for the NXT title, which would be the wisest thing to do. Do a tournament that culminates to two people going on Royal Rumble. I'm not saying they'll do that, but I think that would be one of the wisest thing to do. If you want to legitimize the new NXT champion and give those people who went through the tournament, if they're going to do a tournament, the opportunity to know what it feels like in a main event of the main card of the main roster, have a match for the two people who will end at the end of the tournament by Royal Rumble, and then whoever wins becomes the new NXT champion. They legitimize them on Royal Rumble. Now, I'm not saying they're going to do this, but it would be the wisest thing to do. I will tell you this. Was this a good New Year's Evil? It was okay. I am disappointed, though. I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed in what happened with Thea Hale, Izzy Dane, and Tatum Paxley. The match of Tatum and Izzy was fine. But then seeing Shawn Spears and Niku at that open challenge, when they shouldn't even be there because neither one of them should be functioning, because supposedly Tatum, who ran out during an open challenge with the damn chainsaw, tried to get into the ring, but Izzy, who she just beat, jumped in there before she could get in. I felt like that was the wrong thing. I felt like they could have done this later. They could have done this at the end of the month and let at least a Thea Hale run with this and give her something of a storyline. I know you're going to say, dude, well, she's got one. Look what happened with Blake Monroe. She's not going to end with this. She's going to try to destroy her. Yes, I know. But wouldn't it have been better to at least let Thea have at least 2 weeks with that title? This week, next week. And then you could have done Izzy Dane and the open challenge. And then you could have done that. And you could have shown Izzy being so angry and frustrated because of what Tatum did to her. Allowing it to breed for 2 weeks to at least the minimum 1 week this week, 1 week next week. Then the match, it would be 3 weeks. But at least the match would have been made on the second week. And then they would have had that open challenge. Something. To let all this breed. Doing it like this doesn't feel like it was breeding. It felt like they just wanted to get it over with. But it's just me. And I hope you enjoyed this New Year's Evil. Please give me a comment below. Sorry this is late. Like I said, I didn't see this last night. I'm doing it here. I hope you enjoy it. Peace.